Martin Luther King Jr. as a modern-day prophet. Firstly, who is Martin Luther King Jr. and what did he do? King Jr. was an African-American Baptist minister and a social rights activist in the United States of America during the 1950s and the 1960s. He was an American campaigner for the fair and equal treatment of all people, and so he set a goal to end racial discrimination. An intelligent, skilled, and brave man who was a profound speaker and the youngest individual to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Born on January 15, 1929 at the family home in Atlanta, Georgia, he resided with his parents, Martin Luther King Sr. and Alberta Williams King, his two siblings Alfred Daniel Williams King and Christine, and finally his grandparents. Unfortunately, on April 4, 1968, King was assassinated by James Earl, Ray's gunshot while standing on a balcony. What were King Jr.'s missions and issues addressed? Martin Luther King Jr. attempted to further educate the public's awareness of racism and end racial discrimination and segregation in the U.S. His mission was to control the moral authority and organize Black churches' power to conduct nonviolent protests for civil rights improvements. Judging an individual by the color of their skin is a form of racism, which is why King Jr., an inspirational being, set a goal to end it. As Martin Luther King Jr. had an intention to establish freedom and develop a noble, influential, and meaningful mission, it makes us in our modern-day world look at him as a role model. In his I Have a Dream speech, presented in 1963, he addressed his dream of the United States that is void of segregation and racism.
Because I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
His actions are tied to a prophet's actions, as prophets are honored as being connected to God and speak on that behalf, serving as a messenger with humanity by delivering messages or teachings from the supernatural source to help guide us in life. How did Martin Luther King Jr. help others? The act of putting an end to racism allows freedom and peace. Peace is essential because it is an idea of a world without violence and happiness among everyone, where individuals try to work with each other.